Hi and good day to all. We are Group 3 from International Trade and Finance Group A. This video is about Topic 3 Documentary Collections. Firstly, let me introduce the presenter for Topic 3, which are JIAQI, WONG, KHOR, CHEN, Mei, and Lau Ping Ping. In this video, we will share information about the introduction and overview, types of documentary collections, practice to documentary collections, DP, DA, acceptance pro-award, documents or collection instructions, URC 522, and advantages and disadvantages of documentary collections. Our Facebook page name is BWBB 3063 International Trade and Finance Group 3. And our Instagram name is international.trade.and.finance. Please feel free to visit, like, and share our Facebook and Instagram page to get more information about documentary collections. Now, let us start the presentation from WONG.
Hi, good day Dr. Cheryl. My name is WONG. My metric number is 261359. In topic 3, I will present the introduction and the overview of documentary collections and the types of documentary collections. First, documentary collection is a process in which the seller instructs bank to forward the document which related to the export of the goods to the buyer's bank with a request to present these documents to the buyer for the payment, which indicate about when and what collections this document can be released safely to the buyer. Moreover, the documentary collections is a procedure that allows a seller to give their bank instruction to forward the related documents to the bank of the buyer. Furthermore, the instructions are normally accompanied by a request for the documentation be presented to the buyer for payment. The request and instructions include the term and condition that dictate when the documents can be availed to the buyer. Next, I will present types of documentary collection. There are two types of documentary collections, which is documentary against payment and documentary against acceptance. Documentary against payment, or can known as side collection, is a document may be released only if the importer make immediate payment according to the contract agreement between the exporter and the importer. While the documentary against acceptance, or known as term collections, is a document may be released only if the importer accepts the accompanying draft, thereby incurring an obligation to pay at a specific future date.
Good day everyone, my name is Lau Ping Ping, number metric 263613. I will be sharing information about the party of a documentary collection, or called STC. Actually, there are few main actors or party involved in this. It is as follows. Firstly is a drawer. The drawer is the party who authorizes the remitting bank to handle document on its behalf. The drawer is normally the seller, the exporter, or the payee of the draft. Secondly is the drawee. A drawee is a party who is responsible to present document for the purpose of either payment or acceptance in accordance with the collection instructions. He or she is known as the buyer, the importer, or the payer of the draft in the DC. Thirdly is remaining bank. The remaining bank is the exporter bank to whom the exporter send the DC instruction or any relevant document to the importer. Fourthly is the collecting bank. The collecting bank is the corresponding bank of the remitting bank in the important country. This bank normally presents the document to the importer or the drawee. Next is the principal. The principal is a party or known as an exporter that gives instruction to the remitting bank to carry out the DC. Lastly is the agent. The agent is the bank or remitting bank that acts on behalf of the principal in collecting of the proceeds. Next, I would like to continue explain what is documentary agent payments, DP, and how it works. DP is a kind of document that may be released only if the exporter made immediate payment to the exporter according to the contract agreement. DP is also known as a slight collections. The exporter does not give a credit term because he expects immediate payment from the importer. Therefore, the exporter will not face any risk of default from the importer, and this is also one of the advantages of the DP. This figure shows on how the DP works. I will simply explain the process. Once the contract between the exporter and the importer is signed, the exporter will then ship out the good to the importer. After shipping the good, the exporter will then also submit a draft and the relevant shipping document to his bank, which known as remitting bank. The bank will then forward the document to its correspondent agent in the importer country, and the bank is known as collecting bank. However, if the importer is not known to the collecting bank, the bank may forward the document to the presenting bank. Next, the importer bank or the collecting bank receive the document and need to modify the importer that the document has been received. Once the importer bank has been paid, the bank will release the document to the importer. The importer will then use this document to collect the merchants from the shipping company. Thank you, that's all from me, and I will pass to my friend.
Hi guys, my name is CHEN, meeting number 2614688. So I will continue for the document against acceptance. So basically I will talk about what is document against acceptance and how it works. So what is document against acceptance? So document against acceptance is called SDA. It's a document may be released only if the importer accepts the accompanied draft, thereby incurring an obligation to pay at a specific future date. It means that the documents of good will only be given to the importer when importer accepts the bill of exchange and agree to pay upon the specific future date. Hence, the DA is also known as terms collections. So, what is the advantages for document against acceptance? So it is advantage to the importer because the importer can receive the good before make the payments. So the importer can check for the goods and make sure that the goods is okay, then he will make the payments. So do you guys know how documentary against acceptance works? Are you curious about it? So actually, the previous 4 steps are the same with the documentary against payments. While in the step 5, the collecting bank will present the user bill of exchange to the importer. And then in the step 6, the importer will sign on the bill of exchange to indicate that the importer are already accepted. So after the acceptance, the importer will take the possessions of documents to claim the good from the shipping company. So in the next step, the step 7, the collecting bank will notify the remitting bank about the dates of acceptance and also the maturity date for the payments. So in the next step, in the step 8, the remitting bank will notify it to the exporter. And then on the step 9, on the maturity date, the importer will pay the amount due to the bank. And then in the step 10, the collecting bank will remit the process of minus with the charge to the remitting bank. In the last step, the remitting bank will credit the money to the exporter account after minus with the bank charge. So So next, I will talk about the acceptance pool overall. So, do you guys know about the acceptance pool overall? Are you ever heard about it? So as we know, the bill of exchange are widely used throughout the world. However, it is not guaranteed by the drawing. To ensure such payment, usually the exporter will make the instructions to release the documents against the acceptance pool overall together with the bill of exchange. It means that it is guaranteed to pay by the bank at maturity date. So it is normally by the drawing bank. It is also an alternative way to straightforward the document against acceptance. So basically, this is an example of bill of exchange that signed with the acceptance pool overall. The bill of exchange is accomplished by the bank with writing the word pool overall and signing it with the authorized signature of bank, which can be authenticated. So the next is the advantages of acceptance pool overall. So the advantages of acceptance pool overall for the exporter is that drawing bank is liable on the advertised bill, thus it eliminating the risk of non-payment if the bank is strong, if the bank is so sound. So second, the payment will be given on time on the due date, which reducing the payment delay. So this is the advantage for the exporter.
My name is Haomen and matrix number is 261674, and I will present about the documentary collection instruction and uniform rules for collection in this part. So this instruction is normally accompanied by a request for the documentation to be presented for a buyer. According to the URC 522 Article 4A, all documents sent for collection must be accompanied by the collection instruction indicating that the collection is subject to URC 522 and giving complete and precise instructions. Banks are only permitted to act upon the instruction given in such collection instruction, and in accordance with these rules, bank will not examine a document in order to obtain instruction unless otherwise authorized in the collection instruction. So, a collection instruction should contain the following items of information as appropriate. Firstly, the details of the bank, principal, drawing, and presenting bank from which the collection was received should including full name, postage address, and if applicable, telephone and FASMA numbers. Other that, amount, currency, charge, and interest to be collected should be stated clearly in the collection process. For interest, applicants should understand the rate of interest period, and basis of calculation that will be collected. Besides, the list of documents should be included in the process, and the term of delivery should be stated clearly in the document. Lastly, applicants should know how to use payment method to pay their services and the instruction in case of default payment. All the collections are applicable to the URC 522. URC 522 is a set of rules that need complied by all parties during the collection process. The uniform rules for collection is a set of rules that help assist in the process of collecting debts. The URC was established by the International Chamber of Commerce. This is also known as the ICC. ICC is a worldwide organization that serves to promote and facilitate business, interest, and trade between the countries. The reason for existence of the ICC is to facilitate trade among the world trading countries. Their core task is an ongoing review of international trade practices in the various fields. The ICC undertook a review and revised the rules of the URC in 1993 in order to achieve a degree of harmonization. The review covered changes in collection procedure, technology, law and regulation with both national and international. The URC also provides useful rules for such practitioners to follow when initiating the collection process. The URC 522 also outlines what banks can and should do in relation to document against acceptance and document against payments. As mentioned in the Article 1 URC 522, the most important is the URC 522 should apply to all types of collection by all the parties that involved in the Article 4. Banks shall have no obligation to handle either a collection or any collection instruction related instruction, but it must advise the party from whom will receive the collection or the instruction at the telecommunication with Article 26 URC 522. So, this is the list of URC 522 and I have highlighted the article that must know by the applicant, which is from Article 1 to 4. So, firstly, Article 1 stands for the application of URC 522. Article 2 stands for the definition of collection. Article 3 stands for the parties to a collection. And the Article 4 stands for the collection instruction. Besides, Article 9 also important because bank will act in good faith and exercise reasonable care for the participants. Lastly, Article 26 refers to advice by the bank. Collecting banks are to advise faith in accordance with the following rules, which is form and method of advice of payment, acceptance and non-acceptance. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi and good day to Doctor and my fellow friends. My name is JIAQI and the McTree number is 261717. Next, I will present about the advantages and the disadvantages of the documentary collections to the importer, exporter, and bank. Firstly, it's about the advantages and disadvantages of documentary collections to the importer. For the advantages, the documentary collections are less complicated than its alternatives, such as letter of credit. The documentary collections are also less expensive than the letter of credit because unlike a letter of credit, a line of credit is not required and the fees are minimal. Under the documentary collections, generally the importer will receive goods before having to make payment, which means that the importer makes the payment after the shipment of the goods. Moreover, importer may be able to examine or review copy of the shipment documents before authorizing payment, and the importer may also be able to make the payment after they receive the documents from their banks by accepting U-SEN bills of exchange of time draft. Meanwhile, the disadvantages of documentary collections to the importer are dishonoring an accepted draft is a legal liability and may ruin business reputation. Besides, in the case that the transport document carry a title, the importer cannot access goods until the payment has been made. Apart from that, for the advantages and disadvantages of documentary collections to exporter, the advantages are the documentary collections are less costly or less expensive than a letter of credit. It also less complicated than its alternative, such as the letter of credit. Besides, the exporter may be provided formal and legal means to collect unpaid information. Moreover, the documents are not released to the importer until the payment or acceptance has been effected. The collections may also facilitate the post-export financing. Meanwhile, the disadvantages of documentary collections to the exporter are there may be a risk of non-acceptance of documents. The exporter may also face the risk of refusal of payment. Although the bill of exchange of draft is accepted by the importer, but there is no guarantee of the payment by the banks involved. Furthermore, the commercial risk and country risk are not hedged. The seller's capital is tied out until funds are received, and the legal enforcement of unpaid obligations are costly and time-consuming. Last but not least is about the advantages and disadvantages of documentary collections to the bank. The advantages of documentary collections to the bank are the bank that process the collection generate fees without expend any cost. Besides, there's no bank exposed when this form of arrangement is used. Moreover, banks may generate interest income if the pure collection is converted to either an advance against a collection or a negotiation. Meanwhile, the disadvantages of documentary collections to the bank are the fee income from collection is limited compared to the commission on letter of credit. If the exporter does not ask for an advance against a collection, no interest income can be derived. Furthermore, the bank may not be subjected to litigation if instruction orders from the remitting bank are not strictly followed. That's all from me and my group. Thank you for your listening, and please feel free to first like and follow our Facebook and Instagram page. Once again, thank you.